Hey, this is Keith Weinhold from the Get Rich Education Podcast. You are listening to my friend John Larson in the Real Estate Cowboys. Don't quit your daydream.
Hey everybody, it's Robert Helms, host of the Real Estate Guys radio show, and you are listening to the Real Estate Cowboys.
Have you thought about becoming financially free through real estate investing, but don't have the time or knowledge to get started? Welcome to the Real Estate Cowboys podcast. Each week, we discuss passive income investment opportunities in the red-hot Texas market. John Larson and the Real Estate Cowboys will show you how to leverage their team to build wealth in real estate through passive investment opportunities. And now, here's John.
Hello everyone, here's your host John Larson with another episode of the Real Estate Cowboys. Thank you all for tuning in. This week we are going to be discussing another passive income strategy. Now, if you've been listening to the show, obviously we're called the Real Estate Cowboys. We talk a lot about using real estate as an investment vehicle to earn passive income on a monthly basis. We've also discussed the growing trends in the CBD industry, and for those of you who've been following me and listening to the show, you know that I also own a CBD company as well that does processing. We take raw hemp and convert it to the crude oil that then can be turned into a CBD isolate or a distillate that is put in consumer products. We also have 4 consumer product lines as well. So a lot of big things going on with CBD. Still doing real estate. Unveiled a brand new private lending opportunity in Irving, Texas, which is home to 7 Fortune 500 companies. McKesson is just building right now, finishing up their main headquarters there. They're bringing all their employees nationwide down to Irving. And so we got 4 fourplexes, 16 total units that we are going to be purchasing, renovating, placing new tenants, and managing professionally with our management company, American Real PM. So if you're interested in that opportunity, that is our newest private lending opportunity that is available to our clients. It's a year term at 10.5%. So if that sounds good to you, check out areiusa.com or realestatecowboysdfw.com. Put in your information and a member of our team will reach out with more details, the PPM, marketing package, so on and so forth. But also keep in mind, these opportunities are only for accredited investors. This week, we're going to discuss, it's another cash flow vehicle, another investment vehicle, so to speak, another way to supplement income, bring in passive income on a monthly basis. And I'm going to have 2 guests on the show. One is Ben Walls. He's been working with us in real estate at American Real Estate Investments up in Kansas City for years. Ben still resides in Kansas City, heads up many of our projects in Kansas City, and also does some real estate deals himself. So I was excited to have him on because he was telling me about all the great things that he's been doing. I think that it's definitely something that you should listen to because, like I said, it's another way for our investors to earn passive income. So I wanted to have Ben and his partner Dave come on and talk about how they make money with their company, how they have built a business and a passive income business through their company that they're at. And so Ben still practices real estate, but also does this on the side, and he's bringing in extra money. He's supplementing income with another business because I do believe it's something that can make you or your wife extra money each month. And it's pretty simple. And so I'll let those guys talk a lot more about and how they earn passive income through this company, and also talk a little bit about the difference between, a pyramid scheme and multi-level marketing and what they call consumer direct marketing. So I'll let them talk about that a little bit more. But I will say with social media today, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, all the social media outlets out there, to get involved with a consumer direct company, you can make a lot of money just by having a large following on your social media outlets. I know many girls I grew up with that are selling hair care products, makeup, cosmetics, whatever, and they're killing it just through advertising what they have to offer through their social media outlets. It's called influencers, right? And there's many influencers out there that have, 1 million followers. And by having that audience to showcase good things that are helping people, you can make a lot of money just by leveraging your own database. So that was another reason why I wanted to have this show and talk about these opportunities, because I felt like there might be some listeners out there who have a very large network or a very large social media outreach where this might make sense to you. And I'm all about educating people on ways to earn passive income, no matter what it is. No matter what type of cash flow vehicle it is, I'm all about talking about ways to earn passive income each month. And I think that this is a great one. So I thought it was worth having the guys come on and discuss this. But first, let me give you some background on these two gentlemen. So the first person I'd like to introduce is Dave Crescenzo. And Dave is an expert in creating residual income. He likes to call it residual income, not passive income, for people just like you and I. He's one of the top performers at a company that brought in $2 billion last year alone, and he himself has already made $4 million working for this company. I can't wait to hear more about his story. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Ben Walls. Ben has been involved with real estate investing since 2003 when he bought his first rental property. In 2010, tired of traveling for work in the oil and gas industry, Ben decided to make real estate investing his full-time career. He spent that year working his real estate business part-time, and by the next year, he was able to quit his full-time job. He's been a working real estate entrepreneur ever since. During his real estate career, he's owned rentals, flipped hundreds of residential homes, helped countless investors buy cash-flowing properties, and has been featured as a speaker at many financial education summits and real estate investing conferences such as the IMN Single Family Investment Forum. Knowing the value of passive income through real estate is what piqued his interest in the opportunity to create passive income in the consumer goods industry. As you can see, Ben, also a real estate investor, but has a little extra time that he puts into this business. So I know most of my listeners are real estate investors, and I think that you would be interested in learning about Ben's story and how he earns passive income through real estate, how he earns income through his real estate business, but also in his spare time is earning passive income through his other company. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you Ben and Dave. Ben and Dave, thanks so much for being on the show. Dave, let's start with you. You have a great story. Let's start with your background. Can you please elaborate for my audience?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, John. So, I was born and raised in New Jersey. Grew up kind of poor, second youngest of 10. Father was a minister looking to get ahead financially. Really didn't know what direction to go, John. So my college professor gave me the best advice ever. He said, Dave, there's two keys to wealth. The first is the multiple income streams. So number one, multiple income streams. So, keep doing whatever you're doing, but get a second or even third check coming into your household. Man, was that great advice. So the first was multiple streams of income. His second piece of advice was residual income. Checks coming month after month from a one-time effort. So that made total sense to me, John. So I set out looking for putting that into my portfolio. So I didn't know any better back in the day. This was like 1992. So I figured I would try multi-level marketing. There's a ton of multi-level marketing companies out there. They all promise the world, but they never show you the documentation. So I always tell people, if you were going to buy a business, would you say, yeah, I like it, it looks good, I'll buy it? Or would you say, show me the books? Actually, an absurd question. Like, would you ever buy a conventional business without seeing the books? Of course not. My point is, all the multi-level companies out there, they never show documentation, show you the books. So I tried about 10 multi-level marketing companies in a 7-year span. Every single time I built big organizations, every single time they fell apart. Smoke and mirrors, hype, deception, never what they said they were. I was very disenchanted. I swore off that industry forever, never, ever to do it again. So my wife and I were living in a little duplex. We took a second mortgage on our home. We risked everything, and we opened up a salon and day spa here in New Jersey. And we've been blessed, quite frankly. We've done very well. Today we have about 38 employees. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary, and it's been just a really solid experience. Now, we worked like incredibly hard. I'll never forget, John, my third year in business, so we invested $500,000 in the salon. My third year in business, my accountant called, said, Dave, put me on speakerphone, get your wife Lynn on the phone. I said, what's up? He said, I have great news. You guys broke even this year. So think about that. That's conventional business. Invest everything you have, borrow, work 3 years to get your money back, and then hopefully make a profit. So About that time, I took a look at a consumer goods company. Definitely not multi-level, totally different, because all you do is simply refer customers. And it's a phenomenal company, an amazing American success story. My wife and I started referring because I was remembering my teaching of my college professor, 2 keys to wealth. Number 1, multiple incomes. I'm still, to this day, have a successful salon. But I make significantly more with my second business, my part-time referring customer business. And we've gone on to earn over $3.7 million. So I was able to accomplish what I set out to do, which is number 1, multiple streams of income, and number 2, residual income. It's been an incredible blessing for our family. But the coolest thing about this, John, is literally we were able to help thousands of people in the U.S. and some international to earn either part-time or career-level income. So it's been a great experience.
That is so awesome. And yeah, that we talk about that on my show quite often. It's definitely important to have multiple streams of income, which is why many of my listeners invest in real estate, right? Cash flowing real estate, so they can still do their day job and whatever it may be, but also see, we like to call it passive, but in this case, it's residual income, seeing money come in each month, right? That's definitely a fast track to wealth. So my second question, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but Dave, what is the difference between multi-level marketing and direct consumer marketing? I know many people listening to this may have been approached by other multi-level marketing companies or companies like that. So can you kind of explain what that difference is? And also, this is not a pyramid scheme or anything like that. So can you kind of help flesh that out for anybody who's listening and maybe thinking along those lines?
Absolutely. That's a great question, John. So the first thing is, we'll get the easy one out of the way first, the simplest one, which is pyramid schemes. They're illegal in all 50 states. Pyramiding is, Bernie Madoff, or so pyramiding is illegal and nothing like what we're doing. Actually, the company that we work with is one of the most decorated companies, most highly recognized companies in the U.S. So, we'll talk more about that individually, but obviously and definitely the furthest thing from the pyramid. Now, are we multi-level marketing? Most people, John, don't understand what multi-level marketing is. By definition, by government definition, multi-level marketing is multiple levels of distribution. So the multi-level company buys from a manufacturer at wholesale, they sell it to the members at retail, and then they ask the members to sell it to their friends and family and people they know at 5 or 10 times what it's actually worth in the marketplace. Multiple levels of distribution. So that's the definition of multi-level marketing. Now, some people think, is it multi-level marketing if you earn organizational overrides? If it were, then McDonald's would be multi-level marketing because they have area reps and regional reps and store managers. And when you buy a car, that would be multi-level marketing because the parts manager gets a commission and the sales manager gets a commission and the general manager gets a commission. And if you go in the mortgage business and have a support system, that would be considered multi. So the point is, building an organization, a team, is not multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing is, again, multiple levels of distribution. So the company we work with is just simply consumer goods, manufacturer, direct to customer, and pay referrals. So it's nothing like a pyramid. It's nothing like multi-level marketing. And quite frankly, you're singing to the choir, John, because I just said I'm the guy who tried the 10 different multi-levels, and I know the difference more than any. So I went from no one having success to tons of, literally thousands of people having success. So it's totally different. It could be an hour conversation, but just to be concise, it's consumer goods. It's consumer, manufacturer, direct to customer.
Yeah, and these consumer goods, I've tried them as well, and they're green and they're a lot better than the stuff that you can get in the store, that's for sure. And that's why kind of what I wanted to talk about with this podcast is a way to earn residual income each month from goods that we use every day, right? But that was a great answer is in terms of, and I just learned something, the difference between multi-level marketing and direct consumer marketing. So thanks for that, Dave. The third question I want to ask you, We talked offline about this, and what you told me is, John, there's no initial financial investment to get involved with your company. So my question would be, where does the money come from? Or in other words, how do people who join on with your company make money doing this?
Good. Another great question. So one of the biggest red flags that you want to look for in a home-based company is there large startup fees, and is that where the commissions are paid and the commissions are earned? And the answer should be no. So with our consumer goods company, basically we don't want people's money, we want their effort and commitment. So you're simply referring customers and you get paid handsomely to do that. And the commissions, the money earned, comes from satisfied customers shopping because they love to and want to and love the products. And you hit on something important. You mentioned yourself being a customer. Literally, when you refer customers, you're doing people a favor because the products are life-changing. You're changing their lives, physically, financially. So it's really a neat concept. We don't want people's money, just some effort and commitment in referring other customers if you love the products. Now, if you didn't love the products, would you ever refer it? So the funny part is people often say to me, hey, these products sound amazing. I want to try them, but I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to refer anyone. And I say, outstanding, great. That same person calls me 3 weeks later and says, how do I help my mom get set up? I love these products, and my mom has some health concerns, and I want to help her. So it's actually driven by people loving the products. So good question.
No, that makes total sense. And so last question for you, Dave. I know I throw around the word passive a lot, and our show is really built around real estate and generating passive income through real estate. But just to clarify, there is some work needed in order to make money with your company. This is more of a residual income model. So what type of time or effort is involved to, make money with your company?
Hey, John, that's an important clarification. So, passive is very, very difficult to find. I like your business model. You've found a way to create passive income, and that's really cool. Residual is getting paid month after month from an effort, and it does require, since you're not, so you really, you could look to make a significant financial investment here. You're making a small time investment, so it's different. It's still an investment, but it's a time investment as instead of a financial. One thing I do want to mention is one of the really neat things about this. It's people from every demographic. We have stay-at-home moms, doctors, lawyers, accountants, landscapers, unemployed. We have and everything in between. So the demographic is for everyone. And as far as the time commitment, I tell people, you always get what you came for here with this company as long as your commitment matches your expectations. So what I mean by that is, if you want to make a few $100 or $1,000 a month, absolutely, positively attainable, and that requires a minimal, maybe 5, 7, 8 hours a week to get to that point. Now, if you want to make career level income, it requires a little bit more effort, maybe 10 to 20, maybe. And then for someone like me that earns, I've earned millions, I could go a week where I take a vacation and do nothing, and I could go a week where I work 40 or 50 hours. I'd probably say my average is probably 30 hours. And now keep in mind, so last thing I'm going to say on this question, I don't mean to be long-winded, John, but think about what I invested in my conventional business, $500,000 in 3 years, day and night. I literally am terrible at manual labor. I was sanding baseboards. I was parking cars. And my wife, this is a true story, my wife got picked up one day. She worked so hard that she got dangerously weak, and they picked her up in an ambulance and gave her an IV. And that's what we did to get our conventional business off the ground. And I laugh if somebody were to put that kind of commitment with our home-based company, it would be insane the kind of money that's made. So all the effort I put into my salon, I started our consumer goods referring a business to supplement my salon income. Now my salon income supplements my consumer goods, and I probably average about 30, 35 hours a week. So, and that's to make millions. So short story, if you want to make a few hundred to a few thousand, very minimal time commitment. If you want to make career level, slightly more.
No, that makes sense. I mean, you're always going to get out the most out of anything based on the amount of time and effort you put in, right? You know, you can't really do anything and put in very minimal effort and expect to make a ton of money. But you've just brought up another good point too, and I know we kind of touched on this on the third question in terms of the initial financial investment. I just kind of want to relate this a little bit to our model and what our investors do with us. So for one thing, we have a private money lending model where our investors will give us, let's say they'll loan us $100,000 and we'll pay them a 10.5% to 12% annual return. So it takes them, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, right? There's multiple ways to make money. That's why we're having this conversation today. But a $100,000 loan from one of our investors would pay them $12,000 a year, right? So they make $1,000 a month. With your company, it sounds like there's no financial investment, and it's pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but very attainable to make at least $1,000 a month doing this model. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely true. So not everyone can invest thousands. Everyone can find. You'd be shocked what little things you give up to find 5 or 7 hours a week. So you find maybe you give up a TV show, or maybe you give up something silly that doesn't add value to your life. So anyone can find the small time commitment it takes to get started. It's really, at the end of the day, I'm going to say one thing, John. At the end of the day, in order to be successful, you have to be willing to do what the masses are not willing to do. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
All right. So the masses go to work 9 to 5, come home, eat dinner, drink a beer, drink a glass of wine, watch a movie, and hope that something changes. And they never evaluate their options. And it's important in life to evaluate your options. So if you wanted to make $1,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month, and you don't have the financial ability to invest a couple $1,000, well, what are your options? Here's your options. You could work 9 to 5, eat dinner, say goodbye to your family, and go work a second job all night. And that's a noble thing. God bless you. But you wake up, you're 70 years old, and you work 2 jobs your whole life. So not a great option. What else? You could try multi-level marketing. Been there, done that. What else can you do to earn income without a big investment? Really, it's get a job and work for someone else, or try multi-level, doesn't work, or, this is the best option. So my point is, if you take the time to evaluate your options, we'll be working together. And the other thing, John, is teaming up. So I'm very excited to work with you. I love your professionalism. I know how you get things done. Also on the line, we have Ben Walls, great guy. Him and I are headed out to a conference next week. But we have a team, so your time is instantly leveraged because we team up, and that's a great thing. When I opened up that's a very undervalued thing by people. So when I opened up my salon, literally, I knew nothing about the salon business. My wife was an esthetician, so I had to dive in the ocean, sink or swim, and fortunately we swam. And that's how conventional business is here. We teach you every step of the way, proven methods with results that are time tested and proven. If you do the activity, you get the result, period. So I love the fact that we have a team to support and set people up for success.
Right. And you just touched on 2 things that I like to talk about as well. Something called ROTI, which stands for return on time invested, right? And another thing that you touched on is another topic I like to talk about a lot, and that's ROL, return on life. Working a second job does not provide a good return on life, does it? And return on time invested, as I've gotten older, and I've obviously dabbled in a lot of different things, real estate and many other things in my life, I try and find out, how can I make the most money with the least amount of time, right? Because that's how I feel like I can get that ROL, that solid return on life, right? And so working a second job for me is out of the question. I'm busy enough working my main job. But it sounds to me like this is something with only 5 to 7 hours a week, right? Less than an hour a day. You can start bringing in some residual income and build a multiple income stream with really no money invested. So that's why I wanted to have you both on the show. And now I'm going to turn to Ben, because Ben is he's a real estate guy as well, and him and I have done many real estate deals together in the Kansas City area. Ben still resides in Kansas City, As you all know, we're down here in Dallas. But, Ben, when were you introduced to this opportunity, and how has your experience been so far?
Yeah, John, thanks. I was actually introduced back in 2005, if you can believe it. So back in 2005, Dave and his people came and said, they said, listen, Ben, want to show you our consumer goods store, and we're going to help you get toxins out of your house. We've got some patented stuff, amazing nutrition. We know you like health and wellness and stuff. Patented stuff you've never even heard of. Give us a shot being a customer. And so that was 2005. I've been shopping at the store ever since, and I'll never not shop at the store. Like it would not make sense to me to go to Walmart or Target or whatever and stand in line to pay for overpriced toxins and other products that aren't quality when I can get tremendously better value or better products for about the same price I'm spending there. So I was introduced as a consumer, and obviously when we introduce people to our consumer goods store, we show them about the member program, how it works, being a consumer, and then if you would want to refer other consumers, what that looks like. Now, I didn't pay attention for 13 plus almost 14 years. I didn't pay attention at all to the referral model where I was just a shopper, just like everybody else. I was just a shopper, happy to be a shopper, awesome experience with the shopping program. And that's it. So all my consumer goods in my home come from this consumer goods manufacturing warehouse. And so I just as a consumer, now only recently did I even look into the other side of it, which is the ability to refer others. And so I think it's a pretty powerful statement for me as a consumer for this long with zero financial incentive, not even the care. I'm just busy entrepreneur guy. I didn't look into that side of things. I just didn't have an interest in it. And so, but being a consumer, just being a member and being a consumer, the value in that was so significant that why would I not continue to do that? And so that was my introduction as a consumer. And I've been a consumer for this manufacturer for, over 14 years now.
Awesome. And so another question. So obviously we touched on it. You're a real estate guy and an entrepreneur. What attracted you to this consumer goods model?
Well, I've been in the real estate world for quite some time. In fact, I kind of got pinched with the real estate bug back in college. And as soon as I got out of college and I was able to actually invest, I bought my first rental property, and I was a part-time landlord for many years, and eventually flipped and went into full-time into investing. But I've seen all the different models as far as real estate and other businesses, the ability to create a residual income, the ability to build assets, and to be able to earn income off that asset over and over and over again. And so it wasn't until recently, but when I actually took a look at the business model of this consumer goods store, when I actually looked at the referral side and the ability to create income, I had to stop and take a hard look at it. So I said, look, okay, so there's no big financial investment. There's a massively high, like crazy high membership or customer retention rate. And so I looked at the business model and I said, listen, just for referring some people to a good thing, really what I'm able to do is build up an asset class similar to real estate, multi-unit apartments, a business, whatever it is. I'm able to build up an asset class that's going to pay me month after month after month after month. And so I thought, I would sort of have to be silly to not want to refer some people and to create residual income here. So it didn't cost me any extra money. It cost some time. So I invested some time just in talking to people. It's the same amount of time as I would spend referring someone to a good restaurant is the amount of time that I would spend referring someone to an introduction to learn about this. And so I thought, man, I scratched my head and I looked hard at this and I said, I would really have to be foolish. For me being a consumer this long, I'd have to be foolish to not create another asset class out of consumer goods referrals. And so that to me is the value. So you can buy real estate, you can invest, there's different ways. John, I can give you 50 grand right now and you can go invest it for me and I can get a return. But then also I can turn around and refer consumers to a way better value for them, regardless of what their interest is, if they just as a consumer. So I can turn someone on to a way better value for them and create a residual income asset for myself. And I thought, why would I not do that?
No, that makes total sense. All right, Ben and Dave, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story. It seems like an awesome opportunity what you guys have going on right now, and you're building a team. And I talk a lot about that on the show too. You know, there's a lot of investors out there that invest with us that don't know anything about real estate or how to underwrite real estate deals or anything like that. So they leverage me and my team to get involved in real estate to start earning, start bringing in multiple income streams. So thank you for coming on and talking about this great opportunity. And I guess I'll just leave it to you. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the audience before you go?
I would, John. So the first thing is, what's really cool about these podcasts, totally unscripted. First time ever I worked with you, and great to work with you, John. I love ROL, Return on Life, and ROTI. Never heard either of those. And I want to say that I have the financial and time capabilities now to do pretty much a lot of different things in life. And ROTI, return on time investment, there is nothing out there worth my time like the consumer goods business model. As a matter of fact, we're approaching 4 million. The majority of it is residual income, and that's only the beginning. It's only the tip of the iceberg because it's residual, and God willing, we're going to be on this earth a long time. So love the residual income, love those two terms you just taught me, really cool. And I just want to say that the neatest thing about this is, again, it's not just myself, just Ben, just you. There's literally, and company-wide, there's tens of thousands of amazing success stories that people changed their lives physically and financially without investment. So I'm excited to help as many people as possible. This is what I'm passionate about. It's what I do. And I look forward to working with you and your team, John.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that message, Dave. And I'm glad that you learned something today on the show as well. And like I said, I appreciate your time, guys. And have a good day. We'll do it again maybe sometime soon.
Outstanding.
Sounds great.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Wow. So that was some great stuff from Ben and Dave. I'm a big believer in, just like Dave said, bringing in multiple streams of income to, put you on the fast path to a wealthy life. And we talked about, the return on time invested. It doesn't seem like you have to put too much time into this. And also we talked about return on life, and Dave brought it up. What are you going to do to bring in more money? Are you going to go home and eat dinner and then go back out and work a second job? That's not a very good return on life. But by investing in cash flowing opportunities like real estate, and then maybe even taking a look at something that Dave and Ben just talked about today, can help you bring in multiple streams of income and give you that great return on life that you're looking for. So I just felt like I had to have these guys on. Ben's a good friend of mine, and I wanted them to tell their story because I thought it was just great for everybody out there. I mean, I'm sure all of you have 5 to 7 hours a week that you could put into something like this and start earning a couple $1,000s or more a month. And so I thought it was very important to have these guys on to explain another residual income or somewhat passive income model, depending on how much time and effort you want to put into the business. But I thought it really fit into what we do here at the Real Estate Cowboys, and just preaching return on life, return on time invested, and passive or residual income. So I hope you found the information in this episode helpful and educational. And if you're interested in some of the investment opportunities that I talked about, our newest private lending opportunity up in Irving, or single family rentals, or whatever it may be, go to our websites, areiusa.com or realestatecowboysdfw.com. You can also reach me for any questions about this episode today at info@realestatecowboysdfw.com or even info@areiusa.com. But that's all we have for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you all found this information motivating and educational. And once again, like I said, always remember, what's your return on life? Have a great week, everyone. This is John Larson signing off. See you again next week.
All opinions expressed by the hosts of the show are the opinions of American Real Estate Investments, LLC, and do not reflect the opinions of guests or sponsors. No personal or professional advice heard on this program should be considered an endorsement to follow a real estate financing or investment strategy. Before acting on any information, seek advice from your financial, tax, mortgage, or real estate advisor, as the information is not guaranteed and investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.